Somehow 2022 is just around the corner. Now, do you feel equipped to deal with all the social media trends coming your way in this new year? If not, know that we are here to lay some groundwork for you so that you know all these trends that have already been initiated in 2021 and are just gonna come more and more into fruition in 2022. My name is Sammy, I'm here with Digivangelism. We share a new video every single week, helping you and people like you share hope, healing, and light better and better online. One way to do that is to learn about the trends that are going on in the social space so that you can engage in digital ministry and digital media well. If that sounds interesting to you at all, please subscribe to our channel because we post this stuff all the time and we would love for you to be able to follow along with it. But for now, let's get started. Trend number 1, short form video. TikTok has changed everything. We know that by now, right? This happens from time to time in the social media space. A new functionality pops up on a new or old platform, and all of a sudden all the other platforms figure out how to make use of it, and it just kind of expands onto most platforms, social media that are out there. It changes the entire social landscape. This happened a few years ago with Snapchat and stories. We didn't really have much anything like stories, these like disappearing, a couple second, 24-hour limited videos, I would say. But Snapchat blew up, right? It took over, everybody loved it, and then Instagram kind of improved it and took it, and then all these other platforms took it for themselves too. And now we just have stories like everywhere. TikTok is kind of doing the same thing, right? Everybody's coming out with IG Reels, and we got YouTube Shorts. There's just, it's spreading. It's already started spreading a lot, and it's gonna continue spreading. And no, TikTok is not just a place for silly dance moves and singing anymore. No, yes, there are still trends, but TikTok is now a place where people can be educated, they can be entertained, and they can be engaged by all sorts of people who are all sorts of ages and in all sorts of niches. Like, it's so niche oriented these days. TikTok will find what you like and will show you that content, and there's someone out there doing everything these days. Now, a huge aspect of TikTok is creativity and storytelling. Creativity does still come into play with the trends. How can you take this TikTok trend and apply it to your niche, apply it to your mission, apply it to what you're trying to do there on TikTok? Storytelling shows up in pretty much any kind of communication tool, right? Whether we're writing something or whether we're making videos, you just have a lot less time to tell your story now, and people are so used to swiping through TikTok videos so quickly that you really need to make an impact quickly. Some people even say you only have 6 seconds to make an impression with your TikTok videos, so be sure to use some kind of hook. We're gonna talk a little bit about hooks in our upcoming course, the DIY DCR, coming soon on our website, digivangelism.org. But for now, just know that you need to really capture your audience attention fast. Another great way to increase watchability of your videos is to utilize captions. Now, TikTok does have a captioning feature. It's pretty good, you can use it. But if you're trying to repurpose those videos to other platforms, you might want to actually use the text tool on TikTok or another video editing program to put text on your videos so it's easier to download them or post them on different platforms. The TikTok captioning tool actually only works on TikTok, so if you try to download a video from there, it won't have the captions. So you really want to either type them right on the video or use another editing program to make sure captions are on your video, and then no matter where you're posting it, people will be able to see what you're saying even if they don't have their volume on. Trend number 2, a social element to brands. These days, people want their brands to do more than just sell to them or tell them to buy things or tell them to do things. They've seen the light of brands stepping into the social experience and they want more. Brands these days make TikToks just for fun, not to sell, but just to engage in the climate of TikTok. They build communities online that other people can meet like-minded people within. And they join the conversation about what is important to their audience. This is so important for ministry folk, nonprofit folk, spiritual folk of all kinds to recognize, because if people are expecting this kind of thing of their brands, like their toiletry brands need to have some sort of environmental justice like focus, imagine what they want from their ministries, their spiritual leaders, right? They're held to a higher standard, and they want to see that they're walking the walk about what they believe in. So this means even more than ever before, you need to know what is important to your community. You need to speak up on these issues, on these conversations, and as things change in the political climate and the social climate, just speak up, talk, and provide opportunities for other people to talk. Like, listen too. You're conversing. It's both listening and talking. Live into what matters to your people with everything you do as an organization. Now, ideally, this connects to your mission in some way. Live into that with all you do, because people are looking for communities, for companies that have a focus and are actually taking actionable steps on what matters to them. Trend number 3 is that mobile use is escalating. Statistically, mobile use has always been a decent sized percentage of social media use in general, but that is just increasing, especially as more and more like short-term video, like TikTok is very much a scrolling platform on your phone. As these things grow, people are going to be using their phones more and more, and as companies and advertisers and marketers recognize people are using their phones more and more and make the experience better for people to use their phones more and more, it's gonna escalate the whole thing. So this means 2 things for you as a community leader. First, this means that your website needs to be mobile optimized. This means that there is a setting on your website builder that says mobile optimization. You're using that so that when people go on their phone, everything looks phone oriented, no matter what size phone they have. If they've got a small phone like me, or a much bigger phone like someone else, or a different kind of phone, like not an iPhone, which is the only phone in my mind, just kidding. This means your website is responsive to whatever phone someone's viewing it on, and it's not just like a web page that like is awful for using on a phone. You have to zoom in really far to even click anything. You can't read anything because they're trying to make this big website fit on a phone and it's just stretching things out. You gotta be mobile focused here. So just check with whoever's helping you with your website and make sure that that's going on. If you have questions on that, our Calendly link is on our website, digivangelism.org. Free 15-minute chat. We'll make sure you're pointed in the right direction or see if you need additional website help. The second thing this means is that you need to make sure you are making content that is native to the social media platform that you are posting it on. So you can't just take YouTube videos anymore and post them on your Instagram stories or post them on TikTok and hope it gets the same response. So at least not in 2022, because people are gonna be more and more used to their phones and things oriented and created for the phone, that anything that's not created for the phone, so I'm thinking like a YouTube video that's horizontal and then you put it on a phone and it only takes up like this much of the screen, that's the kind of thing that you don't want to do anymore, at least not in 2022. This might mean you can't spread yourself as thin anymore on so many platforms. You might need to focus in on 1 or 2 so that you can make content specifically for those platforms. That's okay. It's not a bad thing. I know you want to hit people in all sorts of areas and you want to just take one video and throw it everywhere, but maybe the best thing to do is to just focus in on 1 or 2 or 3 and meet people there and create content for the people that are on those platforms. Trend number 4, social media continues to expand. Are we surprised? I'm not surprised. It's gonna keep growing. More and more people are getting engaged on social media and spending more and more time on it. This means that marketers are spending more and more money in this area because they know people are spending time on social media and they wanna reach people where they are, which means these platforms are just getting more and more saturated with advertisements and posts, and it's just a lot. What that means for you is you need to pay laser focused attention on your insights, on your analytics for any kind of content you're making. You need to know exactly what kind of content makes your people tick and give them more of that so that they can actually see your posts, they can engage with your posts, and it can be really meaningful for them. This is really important to call out because sometimes we feel like we can just like feel our way through this, like, oh, this is gonna be such a cool post, but look back on what has worked in the past. Pay attention to that and give your people more of that. Pay attention to what's not working so you can stop doing those things. As these platforms get more and more saturated, you're going to need to be very much intentional with these kind of choices. As people spend more and more time on social, they're also going to want to be able to connect with you easier. So if they're spending so much of their day on a particular platform and they message your account on a platform and you don't get back to them for a whole week, like, maybe before, if they were only like checking in on the platform once every other day, like they might still notice that it's been a while that you haven't responded. But if they're spending so much more time on these platforms every single day, it feels a lot longer that you're not responding to them at this point. At that point, they might have forgotten why they even messaged you in the first place. What this means for you is that you really need to be intentional about spending time on the platforms that you're choosing to be on and being reachable on these platforms. So people message you, you want to get back to them in a timely manner. I understand you can't always get back to them the day of, even the next day, you know? Maybe you take a couple days off. Maybe you take a week or 2 off and someone else is managing things not as much. I don't know what your situation is, but I know that you need to be reachable and that sometimes that means decreasing the platforms that you are on, the amount of platforms that you are on, so that you can actually be present on those platforms. So seeing a bit of a trend here that you need to be focused, you need to be intentional, and that might mean less platforms than you'd really like to be on. Trend number 5, VR, virtual reality, is not to be ignored. Virtual reality is coming in hot, and I think it's going to perform very well over the next year. People are going to be able to meet up with people virtually in a new way, a whole new experience than Zoom, right? People are going to be able to virtually try on clothing without even going to a dressing room. People are going to be able to virtually try products out without even seeing them in the first place, because it's all going to be VR. Now, maybe this doesn't all happen at once. Maybe this time next year we still haven't seen it really permeate the general consumer landscape. That's okay. It's still making an impact in 2022. My only advice with VR is not to knock it. Pay attention. I'm not saying in 2022 you need to be getting your headset and diving in and making your communities meet in this space and buying everyone, no. Just like pay attention to who's doing it well, to who's embracing it, and learn from them. Just learn. And don't knock it, because so often new things pop up, like TikTok when it came out, and everyone was like, that's what the kids are doing, and it's annoying, and they're, doing all these weird dances, and I'll never do that. Look at it now. It's such an incredible tool. It has connected so many people for such incredible purposes. It's an amazing opportunity now, and I believe VR is going to be the next layer of that, the next journey, the next experience we have coming our way. It doesn't mean you have to dive in this year. Pay attention. Don't knock it. Please. Those are our trends to pay attention to in 2022. Comment below which one kind of intrigued you the most and let us know what you're thinking about. We would love to hear it. Which means this is also our last video for 2022. It has been such a joy and a privilege to join you every single week of 2021. And we're looking forward to big things to come next year. So subscribe so that you don't miss a single thing that's coming out from our channel. Share this video with a friend and tell them which of these trends you are thinking about these days the most. And spend some time not thinking about any of this over your hopefully New Year break that I'm hoping, are taking for yourself. So get some rest. We love you all. Thanks for the support. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in 2020.